If you spend any time in online mom groups, you start to notice something. The posts that really truly blow up, they're not the picture-perfect family photos. Nope, they're the confessions, the things women are absolutely terrified to say out loud. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on those dark confessions and unpopular opinions that show a side of motherhood we almost never talk about.
I mean, just read that. This is a real post. And you know what happened when it was shared? It wasn't met with a bunch of judgment. It was met with thousands, literally thousands of other mothers flooding the comments saying, "Oh my God, me too." These incredibly raw, honest thoughts are being shared every single day, deep in the corners of Reddit and private forums, far, far away from the curated perfection you see on other social media.
So that's the real question, isn't it? Why do these confessions resonate so deeply with so many people? I think it's because motherhood is sold to us as this one thing, this beautiful, magical, totally fulfilling journey. But behind closed doors, so many mothers are struggling with thoughts they think they're completely alone in having. These upvotes, they're like a flare in the dark, signaling a silent, widespread reality.
Okay, let's start with the biggest taboo of them all, parental regret. And let's be really clear here. This isn't about not loving your kids. It's about mourning the life you had before. It's about looking at this massive, life-altering decision and wondering if you made a mistake. It's a feeling that feels completely forbidden to even think, let alone say out loud. A mom on Reddit actually wrote this. She went on to say, "Every day, even now, I wake up feeling dread over my parenting duty." And the reaction? Over 3,000 people upvoted it. It's just staggering, and it proves she is so far from being alone in this. And this right here is such a crucial point. The regret isn't always just about the kids or the role of being a mom. For so many women, it gets all tangled up with the crushing weight of an unequal partnership, that feeling of being totally abandoned in a job that was supposed to be a team effort. That resentment just builds and builds until it sours everything.
Wow. This might be one of the most heartbreaking confessions because it just cuts right through the biggest cultural expectation there is, that your child must be the absolute center of your universe. To admit this, to even think it, feels like you're breaking one of the most fundamental, unspoken rules of motherhood. So you see a number like this, 62,000. What is that? Well, that's how many members are in the r/regretful parents subreddit. 62,000 people actively seeking out an anonymous space to share these exact forbidden feelings. That's not a fringe group. That's stark, quantitative proof that this is not some rare emotion. And you know what? The actual data backs this up. It's a really hard topic to study, obviously because of all the stigma. But the research we do have suggests that a really significant chunk of parents, somewhere between 5 and 14%, experience these feelings of regret. It's so much more common than society allows us to believe. This deep sense of regret often feeds right into our next big theme, a truly relentless exhaustion. And I'm not just talking about being tired from a long day. No. We're talking about a deep, soul-crushing burnout that honestly feels like there's just no escape. This quote just nails the feeling perfectly. It's not the physical tiredness that gets you. It's the dizzying, nonstop mental load. That responsibility, it never ever stops. Not for a minute. Day in, day out, for years on end. And guess what? There's a name for this. It's been called depleted mother syndrome. And just giving it a name is so important because it validates the whole experience. It basically says, this isn't just you being a wimpy mom. It's a real, recognizable state of extreme depletion that comes from the specific pressures of modern motherhood. The symptoms, well, they're probably all too familiar to a lot of people. We're talking about sleep deprivation that goes on for years, not just months. A constant state of high alert, hypervigilance, where you can never truly, fully relax. The endless mental gymnastics of trucking schedules and meals and appointments and potential dangers. And on top of it all, that nagging guilt that you are never, ever off duty. Sometimes the most academic definitions just don't quite capture it like this does, right? One mother confessed she wasn't just tired or burned out. She was crisped to a multi-grain Cheerios level. It's such a perfect, visceral way to describe that feeling of being so completely used up that there is absolutely nothing left to give. And this level of burnout, it leads us straight to our next section. The opinions that are so controversial, so against the grain of what a good mother is supposed to think, that many women feel like they'd be socially canceled for even whispering them. Okay, so this was an actual confession posted on the website Scary Mommy. And you know what happened? Hundreds of other moms jumped into the comments saying, I do this too, or I feel this in my soul. It's a shocking image for sure, but it speaks to this profound level of frustration and the desperate need for some kind of release valve, even if it's just a symbolic one.
Oh, yeah. For so many working mothers, Monday is the new Friday. It's the day they finally get to reclaim a little piece of their own identity that isn't defined by snacks and tantrums. It's a chance to just be a professional, to be an adult who can have a conversation that isn't immediately interrupted by a 4-year-old.
And here's one that is truly divisive. The idea that your partner should come first before your kids. Now, the logic behind it is pretty sound. You're modeling what a healthy, loving partnership looks like for your children. But in a culture that demands complete and total child centricity, this opinion is often met with immediate and really harsh judgment.
So, with all this regret, this exhaustion, this fear of being judged, where are mothers supposed to turn? Well, that brings us to our final section, the search for a real village in an age where so many people feel totally isolated.
That old saying, it takes a village to raise a child, can feel like a really cruel joke to modern parents, can it? For so many, that village has been completely replaced by screens, by isolation, and by this immense pressure to do every single thing on your own.
But maybe the village hasn't disappeared. Maybe it's just changed its location. For countless mothers, the real, supportive, truly non-judgmental village is found right in these anonymous online spaces. It's a kind of sisterhood built on sharing these really hard, uncomfortable truths.
And this is what that support looks like. It's not advice. It's not judgment. It's simply, I relate to this. It's the incredible power and validation of seeing your most private, most shameful feelings reflected right back at you with understanding, not with horror.
If there is one central idea to take away from all of this, it's this paradox right here. These two feelings are not mutually exclusive. It is entirely possible to love your child with every single fiber of your being and at the exact same time dislike or even hate the relentless, demanding, and often thankless job of motherhood. One mother put it this simply, and it just encapsulates everything we've been talking about. It's the nuance that is so often missing from our public conversations about parenting. It's loving the person, but really struggling with the role.
So we'll end with this question, because the posts that go viral in mom groups aren't the perfect pictures. They're the dark confessions, they're the Me Too moments, and maybe it's just time we started being a little more honest about how incredibly hard this all is. If any of this sounds familiar, you are not a bad parent. You're just a human being.